Okay, today we're going to talk about the intervals. Intervals means the distance between the notes. Alright, so the smallest possible interval is a semitone. So the very next key to the right or to the left is a semitone. Semitone is also called half step. Alright, okay, now we're going to talk about tone. Tone basically means two semitones between the note. Alright, so what is tone above B? 1, 2, it becomes C sharp. What is tone below B? We're going to move down by 2 semitones. 1, 2. So one tone below B is A. Alright, so remember that the tone means 2 semitones. Alright, tone is also called whole step. Alright. So now we're going to talk about quality. So the first interval, 4th, 5th, 8th, we use a term perfect. Perfect first, perfect 4th, perfect 5th, perfect 8th. Alright, so the rest of them could be either major or minor. Remember that? We use term perfect for first interval, 4th, 5th, and 8th interval. Now, let's talk about how it works. So we already talked about the perfect first. Basically the same note. It could be from E to E, F to F. So when you basically play the same note, that is perfect first. Now, let's talk about the second. Alright, so now from C to D is called the second because there are 2 letter name span between C to D. 2 letter name span. So that is second. Now we have to figure out whether that's major second or minor second. Always remember, go through the major scale of the lowest note. Let's go through the C major scale. Is D second note of C major scale? Yes, so that becomes major second. If the highest note is part of the major scale of the lowest note, that becomes a major second. Alright, so you know that D is the second note of C major. What if you lower the second note by 1 semitone? That becomes minor second. Always remember that, right? When you are trying to form minor from major, you just need to lower the note by 1 semitone. That's how you form major to minor. Alright, now let's go through the third. So basically it's the same thing. So now we're going to maybe try in F major. Alright, is A the third note of F major scale? Yes, A is the scale degree number 3 of F major. So the major third from F is A. So now you're trying to turn it into minor third. You just simply need to lower the note by 1 half step. And so A flat becomes the minor third. Alright? Perfect fourth, basically the same thing. Now we're going to try to find perfect fourth of maybe E major. E major. So what is fourth note of E major? 1, 2, 3, 4. So fourth note of E major is A. So that becomes perfect fourth. Okay, alright. So 1, 2, 3, 4, E, F, G, A. A is the fourth letter name of E, and also A is the fourth note of E major scale. So that becomes perfect fourth. Now, let's try perfect fifth. So maybe perfect fifth, so we try in different scale. Let's try to figure out perfect fifth from maybe like B major. B major. What is the fifth note of B major? 1, 2, 3, 4, F sharp. Alright? So F sharp is the fifth note of B, which is perfect fifth. So the interval between B and F sharp is perfect fifth. All right. Now let's try to figure out sixth. All right. So what is the sixth note of? Let's try in D major scale this time. All right. What is the sixth note of D major scale? D, E, F, G, A, B, D. Yeah. So the letter name sixth above D is D, E, F, G, A, B. B, right? B. Now you have to go through the major scale of D to figure out whether you need any sharps there. All right? Do you need any sharps on B? No. There is no sharps on B in the key signature of D major. So simply just the B becomes the sixth note, major sixth of D, because the B is the sixth note of D major scale. Right? Okay, so B is major sixth of D. Now you're trying to find the minor sixth of D. What is the minor sixth of D? Just need to lower the note by one semitone. Alright, so B flat becomes the minor sixth. Okay, now let's try to do the seventh. Maybe this time we can do in G major. G major. So now we have to count the letter names above G. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. So F is the seventh letter name of G. Now you have to go through the major scale of G to see if there's any sharps on F. Yes. Is there any sharps? Yeah. In G major? Yes, which is F sharp. So F sharp is the seventh note of G major scale. So F sharp is the major seventh of G. Now you're trying to ascertain the minor seventh. You just simply need to lower the seventh by one semitone, and that is F, which is a minor seventh. Alright? All you need to do is go through the major scale of the lowest note. Alright? That's what you do. And then for minor, you simply need to lower the major by one semitone. Alright, that's how you do. Octave is easy, it's just the same note but 8 notes higher. So what is octave above E? The higher E, right? So that is perfect eighth. Same note but 8 notes higher. Right? So that's how you do. Alright, now let's talk about again perfect fourth, fifth, and eighth. Alright, so let's do it in maybe like E major. Alright, so perfect fourth of E is A, because A is the fourth note of E major scale. Now I'm trying to raise the note by one half step from perfect fourth. That becomes augmented fourth. If you raise one semitone up from perfect fourth, becomes augmented fourth. Alright, so we use a term augmented when you raise the perfect fourth by one semitone. Alright, now back to E major. Right, again, A is the fourth note of E major, which is perfect fourth. Now I am trying to lower the perfect fourth by one semitone. One semitone from perfect fourth becomes diminished. Diminished fourth, which is A flat. Alright, yes. Do the same thing in a fifth, right? So you can apply the formula in every perfect intervals, right? So every perfect intervals which are 1, 4, 5, 8, if you raise the perfect interval by one semitone, that becomes augmented. If you lower the perfect interval by one semitone, that becomes diminished. So now let's try the fifth interval. So maybe in like F major. Alright, so perfect fifth above F is C, because C is the fifth note of F major scale. Correct? Okay, now I'm trying to raise the note by one semitone from perfect fifth. That becomes augmented fifth. Alright, so what is augmented fifth? Which is F to C sharp. Alright, okay. So now back to perfect fifth. I'm trying to lower the note by one semitone down, right? Which is C flat. So F to C flat becomes diminished fifth. Alright? Yeah, you cannot say B because then it becomes fourth interval. Remember how we number the interval is based on how many letter names span between the notes. Alright? So if you say B, that becomes fourth interval. So make sure you use the letter name C, right, to maintain the fifth interval. Right? So the fifth of F major is C. If you raise the fifth by one semitone, that becomes augmented fifth, which is C sharp. Alright? Now from the perfect fifth, you're trying to lower the note by one semitone. That becomes diminished fifth, which is a C flat. Right? You cannot say B because it's fifth. If you're trying to maintain in fifth interval, you must use the letter name fifth above F. Remember that number of interval is based on how many letter names span between the notes. So we must use the letter name C to describe the fifth. Alright? Okay, so now we're trying to do eighth, right? So eighth is easy. So C to C. Let's try in C major. C to C is eighth. Perfect eighth. Now I'm trying to raise the note by one semitone. Alright? So C sharp, C to C sharp becomes augmented eighth. Now back to perfect eighth. I'm trying to lower the note by one semitone, which is a C flat. So C to C flat becomes diminished eighth. Alright? So remember that when you're trying to raise the note by one semitone from perfect, becomes augmented. We use a term augmented. If you're trying to lower the note by one semitone from perfect, we use a term diminished. Alright? Same thing in here. So for example, from minor, you're trying to lower the note by one semitone, becomes diminished. Same thing, right? So for example, what is major third of F? A, because A is the third note of F major scale, right? Now, I'm trying to turn this into minor by lowering one semitone down. So F to A flat becomes minor. Alright, now I'm trying to lower the note again from A flat by one semitone. Alright, so F to A is major third. F to A flat is minor third. What about F to A double flat? That becomes diminished third. As I said, you cannot say G, then it becomes second. You must use the third letter name above to maintain in interval third. Alright, remember that? The number is based on how many letter names span between the notes. So you have to describe the interval in the letter name A, right? So A double flat is diminished third. Now we're going to talk about the sixth interval. Alright, so again in C major, what is major sixth of C? Major sixth above C, the sixth note of C major, what is it? That's A. So the distance between C to A is major sixth because the A is the sixth note of C major scale. Now I'm trying to lower the note by one semitone to turn into a minor sixth, which is a C to A flat. Alright, now back to major sixth. I am trying to raise it by one semitone, right, which is A sharp. C to A sharp. So now from major sixth, you're trying to raise it by one semitone, right? That becomes augmented sixth. Alright, so C to A sharp is augmented 6. So when you raise one semitone above major, it becomes augmented. We use the term augmented when you raise one semitone from major interval. Alright, so let's summarize it. So when you're trying to turn major into minor, you just simply need to lower the note by one semitone. That's how you turn major into minor. Now, you're trying to raise one semitone from major interval, that becomes augmented. Alright? Yeah? Okay. Now, from minor, you're trying to lower the note by one semitone, that becomes diminished. Alright? Now, from perfect interval, you're trying to raise it by one semitone, that becomes augmented. You're trying to lower the perfect interval by one semitone, becomes diminished. Alright? Always remember that the number of interval based on how many letter names span between the notes. Remember that? Okay? Alright, so now let's analyze the interval that is given. So now from E to F. Alright, okay, so we just count how many letter names span between E and F. E, F, second. Right? So you just need to write down the number first and figure out the quality. So again, in order to ascertain the quality, you simply need to go through the major scale of the lowest note. We have to go through E major scale, right? What was the key signature of E major? F, C, G, and D sharps. Right? Okay. So in order to form into a major second, do you need a sharp here on F? Yes. F sharp is the second of E major scale. But this one doesn't have a sharp, right? So that means it's been lowered by one semitone from F sharp. So that becomes minor second. Yes? Alright. Now let's go through this. F to D. Do not worry about the extento. We just need to count how many intervals in between without quality first. Okay? So do the number first and then the quality later. Alright? F, G, A, B, C, D. 6. So that's a 6. Right? And now we have to go through major scale of the lowest note F to figure out if it's major or minor. Alright? So now we go through the major scale of F. What is the key signature of F major? Just one flat, which is B. Right? So do you need a flat on D? Is a D 6th note of F major scale? No, because yeah, in F major you don't need D flat, right? You just have D, right, as a 6th note, right? Yeah, but this one has been lowered. Yes, so that becomes minor 6. Right? Yeah. If there's no flat, then that is major 6. But there is a flat. That means the note, the 6th note, has been lowered by one semitone, right? Yeah, from major 6. So the answer is minor 6. Alright, now let's do this, okay? So don't worry about the extento. We have to do the number first and then the quality later. So G, A, B, C, D, E, F. Right? So that is G to F. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. 7th. Now we have to figure out if that is a major 7th or minor 7th by simply go through the major scale of G major. So what was the key signature of G major? F sharp. Alright, so there is F sharp there. So is this not 7th of G major scale? Yes, so that is major 7th. Alright, yeah. What if there's no sharp? Then that is minor 7th. Okay, now let's do this. This is from G to C. G, A, B, C. 4th. Alright, is C 4th note of G major scale? Yes, so that is perfect 4th. So remember the 1st, 4th, fifth and eighth interval, we use a term perfect. Alright, remember this.